Okay. The title I have here is Laughing and Crying with the Psalms. It's an audience interaction at a church down the street. Intention. I grew up Orthodox Roman Catholic, entered a convent for 2 years, and had 15 years of Orthodox Catholic education. So a church are me. Living across from the Reformed Church and still a practicing Catholic, although a Reformed one, I could not pass up the Holy Spirit prompt I internally heard one day when passing that Reformed church on my way home, which is 50 feet away down the block. The prompt was, say all the Psalms in this church. I sat with that and pulled it out as a performance in Austin's Vortex Theater, where for 3 days I stood on a 14-foot lift and sang the Psalms for 7 hours a day, disguised as Mother Teresa. When Suzanne Bennett, curator extraordinaire, suggested I do something for her ShoutOut Saugerties, I focused on that Saugerties church as sight, a short duration, and decided to do a short duration of 3 hours, and the Psalms as the narrative. In that way, I get to do the original idea, but in a less durational form. 1. Why ask 12 people to choose something they want to sonically express as a laugh or cry? 2. Why ask them to come to the pulpit and act as if a priest, pastor, bishop, deacon? 3. Why ask them to be blindfolded? 4. Why ask an 8-year-old child to read the Psalms, which will be played the entire time? 5. Why ask someone to be an angel and bless direct the experience? 6. Why am I dressing like a medic and checking everyone's heart before and after they perform? 1. Why ask 12 people to laugh or cry? To maintain an interiority, each performer for approximately 15 minutes will remember a joy and smile, laugh for the entire time, or they might cry for a loss of a person, a country, a freedom, an indigenous people, a healthy body, or none of the above. 2. Why do they come to the pulpit as priest, pastor, bishop, deacon? Coming forward to the Holy of Holies without having been ordained, without being a male, without words of church or sermon words, is a somewhat transgressive gesture. My need to question or ask who belongs in the pulpit, who does that, is so strong that I am asking people to participate in this concept and help me unfold into a new theological freedom. 3. Why ask them to be blindfolded? Focusing inside and not performing outside is so important. Feeling and not trying to please or trying to attract attention to anything but inner freedom and inner intention will result in a transformative group where positive brainwaves and healing dynamic can happen. Also, the juxtaposition of elements is ironically provocative. The innocent child reading, the angel flying around, blessing, the faux medic checking the performers' hearts, the non-ordained women and men freely sounding from the pulpit, becomes a collage of divine absurdity, and we all know that absurdity cures depression, isolation, judgment and left brain surety. 4. Why ask an 8-year-old child to read the Psalms? Unless you become as a little child, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Loosely translated, that is, stay present, stay innocent. Sometimes translate the soul as having the qualities of unstained, untraumatized innocence. That's something we experience when we hear children's choirs or watch Facebooks of cats and dogs carefully, respectfully, and compassionately minding infants. For me, that is heaven. Will some of the performers cry because their soul feels the heaven sound of the young boy's voice reading the Psalms? Question. Will they smile and laugh because it is the first good news they have heard in months and it isn't CNN? Question. The experience is interactive and improvisatory, and most likely only the performer will know what elicited their sonic response. Also, no pressure is made on the performer to even make a sound if the inspiration is not there to do so. And there are 2 other options. If they are listening to themselves, to the child reading, to the drone playing, they will also have access to a small bell and a jar of rocks rattle. And these can be used as sounding devices whenever they wish. Simply put, there are no mistakes. There are no wrong moves. There is only presence. And yes, all black clothing, sunglasses, glam hair, wig, heavy lipstick. It takes the goodwill of others to trust that this is something of value for them to experiment with, and I thank them. Angels. Angels are symbols of getting out of Dodge or being good at retreat, flying. Angels are fabulous at rising above it all, fabulous at billowy wonderfulness of blessing, of guidance. A relative of mine has written an unreadable Aquinas-heavy dissertation on the angels, and I have always found solace in them as images and deus ex machina. Chickens are not second best, but there is no way that I would stretch the definition or get the permission necessary to include them in this performance, but they know that they are always welcome in my work. The medic. Having lived in an art gallery in 1975 for 1 week with a fake stethoscope taped to my heart, with my dog Betty, doing a performance titled Listening to My Heart, I feel comfortable resurrecting the heart theme. Then I needed to listen because my heart was breaking. Only art happens in my life. Only art could save me. And a month ago, I was taped to a 24/7 heart monitor for unspecified possible heart issues. Breaking? Age? Of course, what happens in my life appears in my art. So here it is, the stethoscope. But now I am the cardiologist and doctor and nurse, and I take make-believe readings of each of the 12 performers' hearts before and after they spend 15 minutes cleaning their own hearts publicly in the pulpit. I will tell them before they go to the pulpit, your heart is fabulous, or your heart is kind, or your heart is wise, whatever they wish. And when the angel leads them down from the pulpit, I will say, after listening to their heart, your heart is love. The end. Linda, Mary Montano, 2018.